Sean Bean's in this? And he dies a violent, horrible death? Oh, you know this shit's gonna be good. GoldenEye shows a powerful satellite system falling into the hands of a former 00 agent who's turned evil. Only James Bond can save the world and destroy the weapon. As he faces off against the former 006, he teams up with a beautiful computer hacker who's the only one capable of taking down the entire system. So at the time of this recording, this film is actually celebrating its 30th anniversary in 2025. It's basically perfect for a first-time watch. But to be honest, I've actually seen the beginning of this with the whole dam sequence and the entire plane and explosion, so I was really excited to see what the rest of this film had in store for me. And I gotta say, for the most part, it is definitely making my top 5. Starting off with the positives, I gotta say Pierce Brosnan is definitely probably the best Bond we've ever seen. While Timothy Dalton is still my personal favorite, Pierce finds a way to bring in a lot of elements from all of the previous ones. The fun, the sophistication, the charisma, the emotion, the drama of each and every one of them, and he molds it into his own. And a lot of that helps when it ties into the story and the emotional elements and a lot of the drama that's going on in the background with the theme and the tones. Pierce just knows how to get that shit on point. I also think we have a pretty solid love interest. She starts out a bit as a damsel going through a lot of stuff, but over the course of the film and working with Bond and actually showing her emotion and both of them showing their emotions to each other, she actually becomes a very capable and hands-on partner to him. And she's definitely important to the plot as she's the only computer hacker that could actually take down the system of GoldenEye. The villains here, I think, are just great. You have Sean Bean as the former 006, who I think could come off as kind of tropey, but they find a way to tie it into the story and the themes about where Bond is in his life and where he could be, and they kind of make that perfect opposite and duplicate to one another. Of course, the other villains, such as Xena and the other half of the X-Men that we have here, are just like perfect little character types with memorable moments, and they just stick out for how fun and evil and creative they are. I just love that so much. I am invincible! With a story like this, it actually has a bit more depth and nuance to Bond himself as we're taking him into this new era and out of the Cold War. The story has to find a way to figure out why does Bond keep going and asking the question, what is his purpose in life anymore? This actually ties in very well with the overall plot of the villains who have been burned by their respected countries and only want to just rid the world and start a whole new world order or just destroy it straight out. It kind of mirrors the fact that Bond himself almost could have gone down this same path if it weren't for the fact that there's just that goodness in him. The times are changing, things are ramping up, and it's getting way more serious. And I think it's important for Bond to actually look inside of himself and say, why am I doing this? And the true answer is, it's because of that's just who he is. He's James Bond. He's gonna do the right thing, he's gonna save the day, and he's gonna kick some ass. Gone are the days of the campy, cheesy, fun factor, whatever the hell comedies that we had with Moore. And here we have a full deconstruction of the characters and understanding what makes them tick while building them back up and truly showing that Bond is the 007. I also really love the dialogue and how kind of snappy and witty and catchy it is. Plus, you can't mention these films without talking about the action and the stunts. A lot of it is pretty big, bombastic, and epic, but it never feels like it goes too far. It never feels like something Bond can't handle or Bond can't do or just feels super unrealistic. It's right in that little niche area that I love when it comes to action. This is just a great start to this series of Bond films and a nice change of pace for a 90s Bond. Heading into the mixed, I gotta say, I feel like it can be a little hit or miss when it comes to the music. Sometimes you have some of those Bond themes that are just kind of mixed in with some 90s flair, but other times you kind of get X Games mode on steroids, and when it becomes like that grittiness of the 90s, I just don't think it works at all. There's also certain moments where I think the tone kind of shifts. Not too much, but it kind of feels like they do have to stick to some of the tropes in the classic spy genre that Bond influenced. I feel like I speak of this way too much when I talk about the negatives, but the effects always take me out of the movie. I know it hurts and it just kind of marks it off just a little bit, but I really wish that they could just get that green screen effect or actually make it look like the actors are in a dangerous situation on top of something, fighting something, driving something. It shouldn't be that hard. As much as I do love the main villain and everything that comes with that, I gotta say there is kind of something that is a bit tropey, and maybe it's the fact that I've seen a good bit of movies, but that twist reveal that the bad guy is a former good guy of MI6 is always kind of gonna seem dated. As a 90s film, there's really two ways that this film could go, which is bright, colorful, awesome action, or super dark, gritty, depressing, and it does this one. Look, that can be fun and entertaining, but I think it drags it down just a little bit when things get a little too serious. We are Bond, we can have a little bit of fun. Rounding everything out, I think this is a fantastic start to an entire new generation of Bond lovers, while still trying to find something to say and dig a little deeper into who Bond is. For that reason, I think it comes in at 4.5 dead Sean Beans out of 5. Man, what a way to kick off the 90s run of Bond. And Pierce Brosnan just elevates himself into that status of like top 1 or 2 Bond actors. I guess the real question is his performance good enough to carry every film in this series as we go forward? I guess only time will tell, as tomorrow we take a look at Tomorrow Never Dies. See you in 24 hours. Gear up and gear out.